Nepal's economy relies heavily on bank-based financing to channel national savings into productive sectors. The banking sector must engineer exactly how that capital is structured, determining the precise mechanics of repayment based on the specific operational cycle of the borrower. Nepal Rashtra Bank, the central regulatory authority overseeing the nation's financial framework, dictates strict guidelines for designing these credit products. For a credit officer, evaluating project feasibility is only the first step. Selecting the correct credit facility to match the physical reality of the business is equally critical. Selecting an improper structure creates immediate repayment stress, directly degrading the bank's asset quality and institutional performance. A common error among junior credit officers is treating loan approval as a simple binary outcome, a calculation of accept or reject. Consider a furniture manufacturing business operating in Dhahran. The owner receives a massive order from local hotels preparing for the upcoming tourist season. This manufacturer suddenly faces two distinct financial requirements. He needs immediate liquid cash to purchase raw timber to fulfill the hotel order. At the same time, he is planning a high-cost installation of new, advanced machinery to increase his factory's production capacity next year. One need requires short-term liquidity. The other requires long-term investment financing. Attempting to service both of these distinct physical realities with a single, uniform loan structure guarantees a structural failure. The structural parameters of the deployed credit facility dictate the risk of default just as much as the underlying health of the business. This chart models capital requirements against time. We map the factory's high-capacity machinery onto the long-term axis, demanding massive upfront capital but generating revenue slowly. To fund this, the bank deploys a term loan. Its downward slope represents amortization, gradually paying debt through scheduled installments. Term loans are specifically engineered for medium to long-term investments, funding the expansion of factories, the acquisition of heavy machinery, and large-scale fixed assets. You see these loans driving commercial infrastructure projects, where the initial capital expenditure is immense and the repayment horizon extends for a decade or more. The strict risk mandate for approving a term loan requires rigorous evaluation of project feasibility and an accurate projection of multi-year repayment capacity. By mathematically distributing the repayment pressure across years of future cash flow, term loans safely absorb massive capital shocks that would otherwise bankrupt a company. This adjusted chart focuses on the short-term scale. Day-to-day operations run in a continuous cycle, purchasing materials, paying salaries, and waiting on invoices. To stabilize this volatility, the bank issues working capital, a revolving boundary expanding and contracting with daily cash flow. In Nepal's trading and manufacturing sectors, working capital ensures continuous operational flow, preventing the factory from shutting down while waiting for a single payment. Because the funds move quickly, the risk mandate changes. Officers must conduct ongoing monitoring of physical inventory levels and accounts receivable, which refers to the outstanding balances of money owed to the business by its customers. Contrast the fast, repetitive cycle of working capital with the slow, linear amortization of the term loan. They govern completely different financial physics. Perfectly structured working capital maintains business continuity without trapping the bank's long-term capital in short-term operational loops. This visualization isolates a stress point. Major clients delay their payments by 3 weeks. The factory faces an immediate liquidity mismatch. Supplier payments are due today, but cash arrives next month. To bridge this gap, the bank utilizes an overdraft facility. An overdraft allows a customer to withdraw funds beyond the available balance in their account, up to a strict pre-approved limit. This facility carries significant risk. Frequent overutilization often indicates weak cash flow discipline, suggesting the borrower is relying on bank capital to survive structural unprofitability. Overdrafts act as temporary bridges, requiring strict account turnover supervision. Left unmonitored, they quickly lead to dangerous fund diversion. This separate timeline tracks a distinct need: acquiring commercial delivery trucks. When the factory cannot pay immediately, this stepped line maps installment payments over time. This is hire purchase. The borrower uses the trucks immediately, but title remains with the bank until final payment. This structure is widely deployed across Nepal to finance commercial vehicles, buses, and heavy construction equipment. Because the financed asset itself serves as partial security, risk management depends entirely on accurate physical valuation and strict monitoring of how the equipment is used. Hire purchase financing uniquely ties the bank's credit risk directly to the physical depreciation and mechanical utility of a tangible asset. This split-screen simulation compares two identical, profitable businesses receiving the exact same capital. On the right, a critical error, funding a long-term machinery purchase using a short-term working capital facility. This forces unmanageable repayment pressure. The loan demands immediate cash, outpacing the machine's revenue generation. Inappropriate facility selection by the credit officer manufactures this liquidity crisis, even when the underlying business remains strong. The reverse error is equally destructive. Trapping long-term loan funds inside a seasonal operational cycle unnecessarily increases the bank's total risk exposure. Structural misalignment is a primary driver of non-performing loans, or NPLs. An NPL is a bank loan that is subject to late repayment or is unlikely to be repaid by the borrower in full. Misalignment turns viable businesses into toxic NPL assets. Zooming out, this matrix displays a bank's total aggregated credit portfolio. The thousands of individual structuring decisions dictate the health of the entire grid. Specific operational failures, like unmonitored overdraft turnover or weak hire purchase asset assessments, create systemic, spreading risk vectors within the portfolio. Maintaining strict alignment between facility type and the borrower's actual cash flow is a fundamental requirement for compliance with Nepal Raster Bank parameters. Protecting asset quality means deploying distinct, tailored monitoring strategies. A term loan requires different supervision than working capital, overdrafts, or hire purchase. Evaluating a credit proposal requires acting as a financial architect. You must build a sustainable structure that respects the physics of the borrower's business cycle. Precise credit structuring aligns capital with reality. It protects bank profitability, ensures institutional credibility, and forms the bedrock of Nepal's financial system.